for those. Are the available legal acceptable in all of the continental US? Can you do that in every one of the US states?
You can certainly do a contract for deed in every state. Yes, we use attorneys. We also, but the big ticket item is with the contract for deed, we have part of our team is our underwriter. Because basically when you're offering a contract for deed, people have this misnomer that, oh, well, you don't have to qualify for a mortgage. Well, you do, only to the extent that your debt ratios have to be in line with Fannie Mae guidelines. So we have an underwriter that puts them through and certifies that their debt ratios are in sync with what they need to be, and that's the qualification process. And then the attorneys write up the documents. We close Huebner through a local realtor using it as a kind of a middleman escrow agent. We've closed stuff where people on faith have sent us money, and we just transmitted documents, through email, etc.
Yeah, one thing I want to point out is that everybody should take a picture of this slide and get in touch with us. On Tuesday nights, Jay and I present to about 120 people now, deals that we vet, that we want to do ourselves, but we bring to our community. And we present those, we go through in very detail how we model the different exit strategies, the after repair value, the rehab value. We literally do the comps online. We run through the spreadsheet. We've got a guy in our community that's just a spreadsheet maniac, and he gets up there and he types everything out and you can see it unfold. So people who are out there hunting for assets, this is a great way for you to see what Jay and I do. In those particular situations, we're looking for JV partners, and as Jay said, we work with people who are passive, who are active or pactive. So whatever you do. So those Tuesday nights are 7 p.m. and if you reach out to us, we can send you links so you can get a sneak peek and see how we work.
Hubert asked, do we service loans ourselves or other servicers? We don't service our own loans. We don't have enough time, and it's also an area that I don't have the expertise to do. Someone else asked, how do you get these package deals, multiple assets? Again, it's relationships that I've built, and so the assets come to me, and then we make them available by working with our investor partners. We are partnering up on the deals that we're bringing the deal flow. So you want to be a real estate investor, but you don't know where you find your deals. We solve that problem because we're bringing the deals to you, and we're just partnering up to get it handled. Mike asks, how do you structure your JV deals? Get in touch with us offline. We will discuss that in greater detail. And it's not a one size fits all. So it's kind of a conversation that we would have with regards to what your goals and objectives are and how we can best meet your needs.
I would like to say one thing though, in all of our contracts, we give you decision-making ability. It's very important to us that you are part of the team. So even if you're passive, it's still structured that you have decision-making capabilities like us.
That's correct, because you're our partner. We wouldn't have it any other way. We don't invest in single family 1 to 4 units is our sweet spot. As the portfolio in Evansville said he coined, it's multi-family detached, right? Dave will get a kick out of that. Chicago, I have a love-hate relationship with Chicago. I love the state. I do really well as far as my success in Chicago, but it's a lot of challenges dealing with their laws and everything else. One house in Chicago in the Harbor portfolio, we've been in foreclosure with the guy who's been rent skimming. He doesn't even live there. He's renting the property out, and we can't get it. The judge won't sign off on it because of the moratoriums for one thing or the other.
I think we presented an asset from Chicago about a week ago on Tuesday night. It's a 2-flat. You could look it up, 4269 South Maplewood Avenue in Chicago. The reason I remember that is I used to live in North Maplewood Avenue. But yeah, 4269 South Maplewood Avenue. This one is a note where the owner simply hasn't paid since 2010. Can you believe it?
Right.
It happens, right? They owe about $70,000 on it. We'd have to take over the note. We'd have to foreclose on it. And then we'd have a nice 2-flat, looking at about a $40,000 rehab on that one. But with really nice ARV and great rental. I think $2,400 a month gross rental on that one.
So Laura asked if we've been to any one of the 21 assets in the Harvard portfolio you want us to speak to? I've been to Louisville in my life, but not that asset. I've been to Chicago. Said he used to live there. I've been to Philadelphia, but not that asset. Would you really expect you or I, not Seti, myself, or anybody on this call, to go to places like Hornbeak, Tennessee, Mattoon, Wisconsin, where else? Aitkin, Minnesota. What's that?
Cahokia, Illinois. Is it Illinois?
Yeah, Cahokia, Illinois. I mean, come on. No, thank you. No, thank you. What other questions we have?
Then there's a question about, but live in Vegas, taxes too high from Vegas. I'm not sure what that question is, Constance. Could you please reword that? We'd be happy to respond. And then Ari Eisenberg is saying, has he paid his taxes since 2010? Go after the tax lien. Being the mortgage holder, the tax situation is always something that's part of your diligence. I've foreclosed on myself before, where for places like Ohio, where the tax foreclosure will proceed faster than the mortgage foreclosure, and I go to the sale as the bank, but because I have a mortgage balance, I can bid on credit up to my judgment amount, up to my amount that I'm owed as the bank. So I foreclose, and then being a successful bidder as the tax lien holder or the tax winning bidder at the auction, I get the property back faster than having to foreclose the mortgage. But we've already have access to this opportunity as a mortgage. There's no reason to go after the tax lien in this particular instance. Yeah, Constance, I get it now. Yes, taxes are very, very high in Chicago. Absolutely, a little too high. Hey, Linda.
Hey, don't forget to mention your wonderful charity, the Boys and Big Brothers, Big Sisters of America. And I'm also putting a link right in the chat.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Everybody needs what Seti and I do often in our business is mentor other investors, but Big Brothers and Big Sisters gives you obviously the opportunity to mentor other children that have, just for whatever reason, life has thrown them whatever they've thrown them, and the ability to reach out and be a big brother, big sister, big parent. It's been just that's one of my whys. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, Laura said that she's in Schaumburg, 30 miles west of Chicago. I know it well, been to the mall many times. My ex-wife was actually a Motorola right down the road from there in Schaumburg. I know that place.
Well, great. I want to thank everyone for joining us today. Seti, Jay, is there anything you'd like to add before we wrap it up for the day?
Take advantage, as Seti and I mentioned often in this presentation, that we are opportunistic in our acquisitions, right? That goes reciprocal. Anybody on this call that wants to know more about what we do and to work with us, take the opportunity, take a screenshot of our contact information and reach out to us. We answer our cell phones, we respond to emails. We would love to hear from you.
Wonderful. Seti, is there anything else that you would like to add before we close it up?
Yeah, I would say if you want to just get to know us better, also come out and listen to the podcast. What we do is we do it live on Zoom on Tuesdays, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You go to www.remastermind.live, and then you could register there. Then what you do is you can come on live and you get to network with the investors that are on the Zoom. You get to ask questions live, and we wind up recording that and then putting the recording on the podcast channels. It's on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, all the major ones. So if you just want to get to know us and what we do, there's plenty of podcasts that you can listen to or just join us live.
Linda's been on our podcast. Dave Grimm's been on our podcast. Many others. It's been a lot of fun doing it.
And thanks so much for the opportunity here, Linda. We love participating and being part of Realty 411. I first had my first experience pre-COVID. It was in Vegas. It was just a great eye opener. It was a terrific experience. And I love that you've been able to pivot. I remember the first conversation we had back in early March, you know, what you were going to do. And so proud of you that you were able to so quickly pivot and get this online. And we've participated in several of them. I've emceed at least 3 and just love it every time. It's great people, and there's a lot of education and a lot of great resources. It's a great place to go if you wanted to be a real estate investor.
And Linda, thank you as well. We've known each other for even several years before that. You provided me the opportunity to speak live in other areas, which have been always a lot of fun. And anything I can do to support you, don't hesitate to ask.
Well, great. Thank you so much again, gentlemen. It's always a pleasure to learn from you. And I want to thank everyone for joining us today. It's been an awesome day. Great speakers, educators, wonderful leaders. And guess what? We're not done. Tomorrow, we're going to have all new speakers, all new topics, leaders coming in from all parts of the country. So you don't want to miss it. Please join us. This is our last Expo of the year. And we want to make sure that we connect with you and give you the resources to be successful in 2020 and beyond in 2021. So I want to thank you for joining us. Dave Grimm, thank you so much for your tech skills and your support. And we appreciate everyone. So thank you. Goodbye, everybody.
See you all tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific. Closing out in 3, 2, 1.